Welcome to the Nevermind podcast. I am your host, Reem. I cannot believe I'm finally doing this. This has been so long overdue. I did try and soft launch a podcast back in 2020 and failed pretty much immediately I couldn't get guests on. So I guess for obvious reasons. But I've decided to stop making excuses and I got myself a fancy schmancy podcast mic and I feel so much more official. I also feel like this makes sense for me because historically I've always been known as a pretty talkative person. Like, you ask anybody from my childhood what word they would use to describe me, it would probably be that. So, yeah, it's kind of great that they have a career for it. But yeah, for my first episode, I really wanted to talk about something that has honestly been on my mind for many years now. And I've been wanting to find the right platform for me to actually share it. And yeah, it's something I've actually been quite ashamed of my entire life, almost like it's a dirty little secret that I have. And that is my toxic relationship with my skin and makeup. It's kind of why I'm also a content creator that focuses on fashion and lifestyle, kind of why I started like that. Because I could not imagine myself indulging in the makeup and skincare space just because I didn't use it for always the right reasons. I always used makeup more like an armor or a mask for my confidence. So, yeah, let's take it all the way back, okay? It started around seventh grade, like usually the age where we're all starting to go through puberty and we're starting to grow into our bodies. And that's kind of the age where you're starting to develop physical insecurities. I don't want to think about like qualitative insecurities where you're worried about if you're good enough and this and that. No, really talking about physical insecurities, whether it's to do with your skin, your body, your height, whatever it is. Like, that's when it usually starts because everybody's going through like hormonal changes. And it's also the age where you start to care about people's validation, and you start kind of catering towards the male gaze, for lack of better words. I mean, boys and girls both cater towards the male gaze. So that was the age I started breaking out for the first time. And I have genetic cystic acne. And yeah, it's genetic. Like, thankfully my sister has been blessed with like the clearest skin ever, touch wood. But I got that gene, and I started breaking out in seventh grade. And I don't know why kids at that age feel the need to point out things that's like wrong with you. I don't want to say the word wrong, but like they just want to point things out about you as if you don't have a mirror at home. But yeah, my classmate comes up to me one day and she starts pointing at my face and she's like, "Well, what's going on here? Like, what's on your face?" And I know she wasn't trying to be mean, but she just like made me super conscious of myself. Like, I've never felt so self-conscious in my life. I was not very vanity focused. I don't even think I was noticing the fact that I was breaking out, but the fact that she pointed it out at that moment instantly made me so self-conscious, and I almost wanted to hide. And I started looking at all of my friends and my classmates and started like looking at their faces and their skin. And I noticed that I was the one breaking out and they all had clear skin because everybody's on their own hormonal timeline, right? So, like, at that point, I realized I was the first person going through it. And I remember like it was yesterday. I ran home that day itself, went immediately to my mom's room and started digging through her makeup vanity and cabinet. And I found like a Revlon concealer stick in there. And my mom's a foundation girly, so she wasn't using that. She wasn't gonna notice that I was gone. And yeah, I just started messing around with it, playing around with it, and dabbing it on my face, and it was a perfect match. And I instantly saw myself with clear skin. And I was like, thank God. I like could see myself with clear skin again. I was feeling good. And what I didn't realize from that moment on would start the most toxic cycle and relationship between me and my skin and makeup, because every single day from that day on up until high school, I woke up one whole hour before school started and put concealer on my face and went to school. every single day. And I got so good at it. Like I can't even explain to you how good at it I got. Like I would not wear any other makeup on my face. Like no eyeliner, kajal, lipstick. Like all of that wasn't even allowed. You weren't even allowed to wear makeup to school. So all I would do is just make sure that I spot concealed on all the places that I was breaking out or any redness I had, and just made sure that those bases were covered and clear. And I would always photograph with clear skin. Yes, you would see texture in real life, but you wouldn't see it in a photo or anywhere else. So I felt confident about myself, going into school or whatever, classes, events, blah, 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 because I had clear skin. But it was a secret. It totally was a secret because I promise you, nobody could detect it. And I would carry the concealer to school every single day and just touch up when nobody was looking in the bathroom, make sure that it was completely empty if I ever needed it. And I can't even begin to explain to you like how good at it I got. And I was petrified if anybody ever touched my face, pinched my cheeks, any of that stuff. Like no, that could never happen. That was my worst nightmare, I think, at that point. And another layer of fear I had was that my mom was a teacher at all of my schools. So if I was ever caught wearing makeup, not only would I be called, but my mother, who was my teacher at that age, would be called too. And it would not only embarrass me, but it would embarrass her. So like there was just a lot of fear going around. And when I tell you, I got so good at putting makeup on like every morning. My parents didn't even notice for a good 2 to 3 years that I was doing this. Like, I think they would notice that my skin was getting bad at night, but then would magically heal and clear up in the daytime, like as if it was naturally getting cleared up. I'm telling you, it was very skin like, I think, what I was doing. Literally, I would save up birthday money like 700 rupees. I remember the exact amount. And I would go to the nearby mall I had, take the concealer tube with me, and literally pretend. I would be like, can I get like another one of this? Like, it's from my mom. I don't know what this is, but like, could you just give me like the exact one of this? It's for my mom. Like, I didn't know why I had felt the need to act and pretend. Maybe because I knew how young I was and how I was not looking old enough to wear makeup. Now it would be a different story. I feel like I see 12-year-olds and stuff wearing makeup, but back then nobody was wearing makeup. It was very uncommon. Like I remember when the first Mac store opened in India. So, yeah, like this was very very much like a secret spy operation going on in my mind. I remember the day when my parents like found out I was putting makeup on, and my mom like confronted me and sat me down in my room, and she's like, "Are you putting something on your face every day?" And this was when I was in grade 10, I think, so a good 3 years since I've been doing this. And I like admitted to her by saying, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And she's like, "Can you show me what you're using?" And I was so afraid that she was going to take it away from me and make me go to school like barefaced. And I could not, grade 10, I could not imagine like going through that, you know, and going through like facing my insecurity now at that age, like after 3 years of doing my secret spy mission. And thankfully my parents were pretty supportive of it, because at that point they knew how far it had already gone. And my mother in fact started going with me to the mall and buying me concealer, and like buying the concealer with me. And like we started finding like a little bit of a better brand that would suit my skin, so I would not break out as much or whatever. Like I knew my situation was pretty hormonal. Like she would take me to the dermatologist from that day and all. But like still, like I was so afraid that she was gonna bust me. But I do think that as deep as that insecurity got, because it just kept getting worse, because I could not accept myself without makeup. And it is one of my tiny regrets that I do have, is that I never got a chance to embrace myself fully without makeup in school, like when I was breaking out. Because eventually all of my friends did start going through their hormonal changes and breaking out, and having their natural puberty cycle like we all go through. And they would still show up, and they learn to like still project their most confident selves through that. They learn to embrace themselves, they embrace their skin. And I used to think they're so beautiful and so cute. Like they still are, but even if they were breaking out or whatever it is, like I would still think my friends were so freaking cute, and they were, you know, still hitting on boys, and flirting and going on dates and having boyfriends, like despite all of that, right? And in my mind, I was convinced that I would be considered unattractive if I, was ever talking to a boy without makeup, or, without the whole, you know, image going along from like makeup, hair, outfit, the whole thing. And here I am seeing all my friends going and on dates and being confident and, doing their thing basically. Like I never got a chance to fully embrace that version of myself. But another thing that didn't help is also around the age that I did start dating. This insecurity did travel into my relationships. And my first relationship, uh, well, to be fair, I've only had two boyfriends, so the one out of two. The first relationship I was ever in was a long distance relationship. And what was so great about it, and I think a part of me was so relieved that I was in a long distance relationship, is because I never had to worry about what my skin looked like in real life, because I could project as my most confident self through photos and video chat, like Skype at the time, because the quality was not very good. And yeah, like I still was able to keep up with my insecurity even during that moment in time, because it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing that I was so unconfident without my armor, that is a tube of concealer. Like honestly, I was not like, it's not that I needed a full beat eyeliner, like mascara, lipstick, and all of that stuff. No, it was just my skin. Like if my skin was clear, I was good. I was good to go. Like up until a few years ago, I couldn't even go to the grocery store without a little bit of concealer on. Like just for me to mentally feel ready to leave the house. Like I am not appropriate to leave the house unless I have clear skin, was kind of how my mind worked up until like maybe even a year ago. So yeah, that definitely was really tough in my first relationship, where I still carried that secret through. And I remember when I met my first boyfriend for the first time in person, I spent 2.5 hours just messing with my face, like messing with my makeup, trying to make it look as perfect as it possibly could, because I was so afraid that I would be considered unattractive if he saw me like for what I am, which is so bizarre. Because like I know I'm cute in my own way now, but I was so convinced that I wouldn't be perceived that at that age, which is absolutely crazy. I think I was like 17 at that time. So, and like, why am I even kidding myself? Like, let's not even stop there. Like, my current relationship, like, when I first started dating my boyfriend, I remember I slept over at his house for the first time. Like, I literally fell asleep with makeup on, and then would wake up at 6 a.m., wash my face, redo my skin, like specifically just my concealer, and then just like wake up and be like, oh my god, I woke up like this. Which is so funny because my boyfriend knows this now, and obviously they have seen me without my makeup and everything like that. And right now I go without makeup in like outside all the time. My friends see me without makeup. I am online now without makeup. But at that time, this is 2019, like I was so petrified that my boyfriend would see me without makeup and be like, oh, she's not that cute. Like that's how insecure I was. This is so embarrassing to admit. I hope you guys understand that this is quite literally a part of me, is like my 16-year-old's worst nightmare to ever talk about this. But I feel good about it because I've come a really long way mentally, because this would never be me today, and that's what I'm kind of proud of. And I want to talk about this because I've come such a long way with my skin. I've been working on it, and I've been working on my mind, like realizing that this nobody really cares at the end of the day, and it's all about like your personal confidence. So yeah, it is hard because I think for so long I really separated human reem, like no makeup human reem, to like Instagram reem. I also think being on social media made my insecurity continue and and make me more paranoid about it, because of the fact that I think people are always having a certain expectation of how you're supposed to be, like, presenting yourself. Because I feel like I've projected like this bad bitch confident persona of me where, you know, and that does exist. Of course that exists, but I feel this immense amount of pressure knowing that in my mind I'm thinking about if this person looks at me and thinks that they're receiving the exact version of me that they saw online, because I separate that human reem versus that Instagram reem that has her makeup done and her outfit on point and her hair cute and all of those things. Like, this is so embarrassing. I didn't even get into how, like, I have some really like extreme incidents of things I've done to kind of, keep up my ruse throughout middle school and high school. Like, it was insane, like how insecure I was. And I had tried everything to fix my skin during school, like every Indian, like, remedy mask that you could do, to all the three-step ads that you saw online. Like, I spent so much money, like proactive ads. Does anybody remember proactive? um and then there was a Clinique three-step program, completely ruined my skin and dried it out. Like, oh, I've spent so much money and destroyed myself. I was this close. I think I was like, all that was left for me to do was Accutane I think at that point. But yeah, now I've like come a really long way. uh, Honestly, a big thing that's helped my skin out is micro needling sessions and stuff. That's really helped me with my texture and my acne scarring. And I'm telling you right now that my skin is nowhere near perfect. I just think I've been working towards making it better. It's a lot better than it ever was. And this is the best my skin has ever looked to me. And a part of me would be so happy that I've gotten to this point. But I will say that skin dysmorphia doesn't go away. I definitely think I have skin dysmorphia where no matter how much better my skin gets, I I can always see it on my face. Like, I can never mm, remove that image from my face that I like no makeup reem is unattractive reem. And I felt this way throughout high school because, like, or and middle school, because I feel like I constantly saw myself as the unattractive friend. Like, I would have these really, really beautiful friends, and I feel like I put myself in this like self deprecating zone all the time because I was really, really underweight and skinny, and like I would get a lot of skinny shamed comments combined with the acne, combined with how hairy I was. Like, I had a mustache throughout school the whole time. So, combining the fact that I was hairy, had acne, and was so unbelievably scrawny, and all my friends were growing into their breasts and bodies and having like beautiful, beautiful like skin, or even if they weren't, like they were able to project super like confidently and speak to boys. At that age, that's kind of what matters. Like, I just couldn't see myself as attractive, which really, really sucks now. And I just think about how Baby Reem like deserved to feel a lot better about herself. That way, I'm a bit glad that makeup was at least there to help even a little bit with that. And it's crazy because I do think now, like, I felt like such a fraud because of how insecure I was. Like, even to my first boyfriend, like, feel like such a fraud about how insecure I felt. And that's how I feel even now when I meet sometimes certain people, because I'll have moments of that insecurity that kind of projects and comes out even now, where if somebody compliments me, I feel the need to kind of self-deprecate. Like, I'll even compliment somebody, be like, "Oh my god, you have such clear skin," and my skin is my biggest insecurity. Like, I'll compliment somebody and then I'll like admit to them that my skin is my biggest insecurity, even if my skin isn't that bad now. Like, I literally will have my friends tell me like, "It's looking great, your skin's looking so good." Like, I'll have somebody compliment my skin and I'll be like, "Oh no, 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 like it's my biggest insecurity. It's like so textured, it's so this, it's so that." Like, I'll go on a little ramble about it because I'm still, a part of me is still self-conscious about it, but I'm working on it, so never mind about that, right? So, like, it's a process, it's a process, we're getting there, right? Hmm, never mind, never mind. Like, I just spent so long rambling and I feel really good that it's kind of out. Like, feel relieved. So fucking embarrassing though. This was fun. I will see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys liked it. But yeah, bye.